Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all.
It said it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. In other words, the judgment of the Lord came upon them. Go ahead and read.
Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed.
Now listen to this. It said, even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. Now this is where it really gets confusing. Because watch what it says in Luke. That's different from Matthew. Go ahead.
In that day, he which shall be upon the housetop, and his stuff in the house, let him not come down and take it away. And he that is in the field, let him likewise not return back. Remember Lot's wife.
Now wait a minute. It said, in that day, which shall be he that was on the housetop, and his stuff in his house, let him not come to take it away, and he that is in the field, let him not likewise return back. Now it said, in that day, what day? The day that the Son of Man is revealed. Now go back to Matthew 24. Let me show you something that's different about that. I want you to take a look at this. It said, in that day when the Son of Man is revealed. Now we're going to read the same thing. We already read it, right? Matthew 24. Pick it up in verse 15. Go ahead. Matthew 24 and 15.
When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation.
When you shall see the abomination of desolation, we just seen that means when Jerusalem is compared by army, we happened in 70 AD. Go ahead and read.
Spoken of by Daniel the prophet. Stand in the holy place. Whoso readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house.
Wait a minute. When you go back to Luke chapter 17, it tells you don't do that in the day the Son of Man is revealed. When you read in Matthew 24, it makes it seem like you have to do that before the Son of Man shows up. So if this is literal, do I do this before he shows up, or do I do this when he gets here? Do I got to not worry about going back in my house when he gets here, or do I got to not worry about going back in my house before he gets here? See, if you make it literal, then your gospels contradict each other. Can't have it both ways. Well, so what does it mean? How do you reconcile this? Because from the time that all this stuff started happening, this was the beginning of the day of the Son of Man's wrath. That's why you had to flee back then. We saw that because it was the beginning of the day of the Son of Man bringing his wrath. But if you make it literal, it makes it seem like you have to do this at one time in Matthew, then you have to do it another time in Luke. No. The day of the Son of Man is the very time he began bringing judgment upon the nation of Israel, and he began doing that with the rumors of war, because he letting you know all is leading up to it, and with the day that you see Jerusalem compared to army. Now go back to Luke 17. That's why I said all this has been fulfilled. If this has not been fulfilled, your Bible is lying. Isaiah 13 is lying. Joel chapter 2 is lying. Ezekiel, what that was, Ezekiel chapter 32 is lying. If all is supposed to be literal, with the sun and the moon and the stars and the coming of the Lord. But if it's symbolic, it makes sense. And we don't see how it's symbolic. Now you're back in Luke 17, right? Pick it up where it says, remember Lot's wife. 32.
Remember Lot's wife. Whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it. And whosoever shall lose his life shall preserve it. I tell you, in that night there shall be two men in one bed. The one shall be taken and the other shall be left.
Remember we read that in Matthew 24? We're going to read exactly what we read in Matthew 24 in that verse. Go ahead.
Two women shall be grinding together. The one shall be taken and the other left.
Now they try to say this about the rapture.
Yeah.
Luke going to tell you exactly what it's talking about. Because they're going to ask them. Go ahead.
Two men shall be in the field. The one shall be taken and the other left.
It says two men shall be in the field. The one shall be taken and the other left. Go ahead.
And they answered and said unto him, Where, Lord?
So they asked him. If it was talking about heaven, they say, to heaven with me, of course. What did he say?
And he said unto them, Wheresoever the body is, thither will the eagles be gathered together.
Wheresoever the body is, thither will the eagles be gathered together. Go back to Matthew 24 right quick. Because you got to remind these people what they read. Matthew 24. Matthew 24, and pick it up at verse 27. Go ahead.
27. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together.
Did we just read in Luke 17? Yep. So we asked the question. What it is saying is, some people are going to escape the wrath of 70 AD end of the world, the coming they were referring to was this coming judgment upon Jerusalem, right? And the end of the world meant the end of the age, would mean the Jewish age, which ended in 70 AD. We also seen that he could not have possibly been asking him about the end of the world as far as the second coming, because at that time they did not even believe that he had to die, resurrect, ascend, and come back. So they could not have been asking him that. We also seen that when it said Jesus was going to come with a cloud in the future, that this was Bible terminology, simply meaning that his judgment upon Jerusalem is going to be swift and fast, and by way of the Roman nation. We also see when we said the sun and the moon and the stars going to be darkened, when you read in the Old Testament prophecies, that the Bible terminology simply meaning that the darkness of that day and the evil of that day is going to come upon whatever nation God is bringing drama again. We even seen what he said what he told Caiaphas that he was going to witness that. And we know Caiaphas not literally witnessed him coming in the cloud or the literal element turning dark. And finally, we seen in Luke chapter 17 that it was all referring to what was going to happen to his disciples in that day. Matthew 24 has completely been fulfilled, and if anybody's trying to tell you otherwise, they are not telling you the absolute truth. We'll see you next week.